Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good day, wherever you are. And today is Christmas Eve, so happy Christmas Eve. What is the meaning of Christmas Eve? I thought today I would devote this conversation, this one-way conversation from me to you, on the meaning of existence, of life, the meaning and purpose of meaning itself. And I know most of you are sending your questions to info@jayo.com. Please keep sending them. info@jayo.com, info at jayo.com, J-I-Y-O. Jayo is our app for well-being and the place where we all hang out so that we can hopefully move in the direction of a critical mass of consciousness for a more peaceful, just, sustainable and healthier world. A lot of the questions are, of course, coming from readers of You Are the Universe, discovering your cosmic self and why it matters. But as I said, you can send me any question on any topic. I'll be happy to share my thoughts with you. So today's question actually comes from a friend of mine in Hong Kong. Her name is Preeti, and she said, would you please do something or say something about meaning and purpose. Meaning and purpose. So that's what I thought I would share with you. So if you go to the dictionary and you look up the meaning of a word, and that word is meaning, that's what the dictionary is all about. It's about the meaning of words. And then the dictionary says, meaning is that which is meant by a word, a text, a concept, or action. It is implied or explicit significance. Interesting. We need words to understand the meaning of words. Isn't it interesting? And then I also looked up the meaning of purpose in the dictionary, and it said the reason for which something is done or created, or for which something exists. The reason for which something is done or created, or for which something exists. So now let's discuss the meaning and purpose of existence and of life. So first of all, let's discuss what we mean by existence, and I'll choose something that hopefully will not be controversial. So by existence, I mean that which exists. We exist, and all this exists. This exists, this exists, this exists. This exists. Okay. This exists. That thing behind me exists. So existence is that which exists. How about that? Simple. And then let's talk about life. So, when people ask me what is life, I jokingly say life is a sexually transmitted incurable condition. Once again, life is a sexually transmitted incurable condition. I think no one will argue about that. But if we go a little bit beyond that, then I think we can say life is awareness of existence. Life is awareness of existence. In order to know that there is existence, or even to know that you exist, there must be something called life. So I'll go with that. Life is awareness of existence. In the deeper reality, then, we can also say that existence and awareness of existence go together. If there is existence without awareness of existence, then it's unknowable. So I think we can all agree that life and awareness and existence go together. In fact, if you go deep into some of the wisdom traditions of the East, particularly Vedanta, then awareness, existence, being are all same thing. Okay, so what then is the meaning of our life, and what then is the purpose of our life? Why do we exist? And is there any meaning or purpose to our existence? More on that in 15 seconds. Okay, so here I am. Let's examine how meaning and purpose come about for humans. I don't think this question could have been asked by anybody other than a human, right? A scorpion would not care about this question, nor would I think a spider, but we do, and so let's try and figure out what meaning and purpose are. And I'll use my favorite example once again. So if I asked you this, what is this? You'd say it's a hand. What is this? It's a face. What's this? It's a nose. What's this? It's a pair of glasses. Now that is the meaning that humans give to a sense experience. In this case, the sense experience is seeing. And seeing is an activity in awareness, which gives us the experience of what we call shape, color, and form. And by the way, they are all the same thing. On the level of seeing, the only difference between this, and that behind me is color, shape, or form. They're all the same thing, color, shape, form. They create boundaries between what we call objects. So on the level of experience, this is at the level of seeing a color, shape, and form, as is everything else I pointed out to. At the level of hearing, what you're hearing right now is just sound, vibrations. At the level of tasting, this is just a taste, a smell. At the level of sensation, this is just a texture. Now, by labeling this, or giving it a name, giving this form a name, I call it a coffee cup and coffee. I call this a hand, and so on. So as soon as we interpret an experience, which is a sense perception, and create a thought, because an interpretation is a thought, and then give that thought a name, a label, then we give meaning to an experience. Mirjana Zomik says qualias in unified field. You got it. Absolutely, Mirzona, but that's pretty far out, and it's in my book, You Are the Universe. But let's go slowly, okay? So there is awareness, and then there is awareness modifying itself as experience. And then there is the interpretation of experience, a label, a thought, which then gives the experience meaning. Okay, and as human beings, we are a species of consciousness that is obsessed with giving meaning to experience. Obsessed with creating meaning for experience. And then we ask a further question: what is the purpose of it all? Why do we give meaning? What's the reason we give meaning? What is the purpose we give meaning to experience? Why do we create labels, constructs, thoughts, interpretations? What is the reason for which we give meaning to experiences? And I would say that the only purpose is to create our particular experience of reality. Our particular experience of reality. So by giving labels, constructs, meaning, we end up creating a construct, a meaning, an idea of that which is reality. Even that which we call our body is a label, a construct, a meaning for this experience. This is an experience like any other. And that label is that which we call the mind, which is also an interpretation in the same awareness in which this is a perception. So the purpose of human existence then becomes to give meaning to meaning and create our particular version of reality. And not only do we create our particular version of reality as a body-mind, which is also a construct, we embed ourselves in that particular version of reality. And then, by giving meaning to this shape, to this sensation, to this smell, to this texture, to this sound, we start to embed ourselves in that, and then we create tools, which is the beginning of technology, and ultimately we become what we have become, the conquerors in a way of the human universe. Now, is this good or is this bad? Well, I can say that it just is. I feel that this is actually, in a sense, the fall from grace, but also the creation of that which we call human civilization. So, by creating this duality, we created technology and science and everything else. We created art and music and architecture, everything we call modern civilization. But we also caused the extinction of other species. We created mechanized death, weapons of mass destruction, atomic bombs, nuclear weapons, extinction of species, and on and on. So there's a divine aspect to the species of consciousness that we call human, because the divine aspect is that we are almost like gods, homo deus. We are godlike in that we can create anything that we want, as long as we can give a label, a meaning, a significance to an experience. We can collectively agree on it, and then we can imagine new constructs, embed ourselves in them, and create them. So we are creators of the human universe. That's the divine aspect of it. The diabolical aspect of it is that we are destroyers too. By separating ourselves from the activity that we call the universe, we fell from grace. This is the true meaning of the knowledge of the tree of life and the fall from grace, and the knowledge of good and evil. So where do we go from here? And I think where we could go from here is by revising a little bit our interpretation of the construct, me and the universe. Why not just say that which I call me is also an expression, an activity of existence? So that gets the ego construct out of the way. And once you get the ego construct out of the way, then we can harness the same creativity and the same imagination to actually a place where there is reverence for existence, where there is humility, where there is a moving of the ego construct into the background, where there is exhilaration and joy at the fact of existence and the awareness of existence, and where there is a deep knowing of the knowing of our timeless nature as non-local beings, and therefore our immortality. That would be amazing, to know that all experience is a result of the projection of the conditioned mind, to know that inherently nothing in the universe has ego, to know that if you can see it, perceive it, think about it, imagine it, conceptualize it, it's just an impermanent, ever-moving, ungraspable dream. And to know that at the heart of it all, at the level of pure existence, we are one being, one consciousness. In the deeper reality, members of one body. In the deeper reality, members of one consciousness. In the deeper reality, one being. And in the deeper reality, if you have to give it a name, love. Love as unity consciousness. But of course, I'm playing with words. So let us settle back into being and just be love. Be love. Being in love. That would be a great meaning and purpose to strive for. Okay? So, Merry Christmas Eve, Merry Christmas. Again, something that is just another day, but we imbued it with meaning. And then we created purpose. For some people, the purpose is getting drunk. For other people, it's death and resurrection, and on and on. Let's give a bigger meaning to existence. Robert Hoff says, Third Jesus, what is that? Well, it's the name of a book that I wrote. The first Jesus is the historical Jesus, about which only a little bit is written by the historian Josephus. The second Jesus is the theological Jesus, created by the church. And the third Jesus is a state of consciousness that we all have access to. Unity consciousness, divine consciousness. Okay, enough for today. Have a wonderful Christmas Eve wherever you are in the world, where Christmas Eve is still part of the dream. In other parts of the world, Christmas Eve is over and the dream is Christmas. Human construct. Take care, my friends, and have fun, giving meaning and purpose to whatever you want to.